going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick. Happy 4th of July weekend. Happy Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Reunion Special Day. That comes out, I think, tonight. I mean, sometime today. Maybe it's already out when you're listening to it. Check it out. It's on Hulu. If you're up and early listening to it, you might have to wait a few hours. Programming note, before we kick off this explosive episode, this will be the last episode that we are releasing this week. Enjoy your family, enjoy the holidays, enjoy celebrating America. If you need some podcasting content, God knows we have put out a lot lately. So if you haven't listened to everything, be sure to check it out. We have the Jeremiah episode, the Going Deeper episode that dropped last week. I think everyone in the world listened to that, but if you haven't, be sure to check it out. It's definitely something you do not want to miss. We also had Hannah last week. We had Jalen last week, so it was definitely a full Love Island bash. Later this episode, we have Vanna in studio in LA. She is already back in the States. She is here to talk about all the tea that's going down in the villa. Give us the inside scoop of the most recent dumpings. You know, dumping is such a brutal word. It's how I was first broken up with. I think I've told you the story.
She said, I'm dumping you?
6th grade. My girlfriend, Kelly. Her twin brother was my best friend. And by girlfriend, I mean, like, we put a label on it. We didn't hold hands. I
feel like that's a conflict of interest for you and your buddy.
Well, I mean, I was able to have sleepovers, you know, but
you dirty dog.
I know. Anyway, my friend, Tim, so I thought, also decided to have a crush on her. And then my family and I, we went to go see the Mighty Ducks in the budget theaters, you know, large family. So Mighty Ducks was in the budget theaters. And when we got home, this is the days of the answering machine. So you'd come home and everyone got to hear the messages. And my family gathered around the answering machine. And the message was, Nick, this is Kelly. You're dumped.
Aww. Did you cry?
Sobbed.
You did?
Well, my mom actually was weirdly like not in town. I think she was at like my cousin's baptism or something, which was rare for my mom to fly. And when she got back in town, I sobbed in her arms. And in the moment I heard it, I was just embarrassed. But it was a devastating heartbreak.
What did your siblings do? Did they like laugh at you, or were they sweet?
I think they were just kind of like, whoa. She had to call and apologize.
She did?
Yeah, her mom made her call because she thought it was kind of rude.
Well, yeah, that's a crazy way of phrasing it.
It was Nick. I'll never forget it. Nick, this is Kelly. You're dumped.
Wow. And did you ever see Kelly again?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the way through high school.
Wow.
I think for a hot second in high school, she tried to win me back, but
You said no.
I said no.
Well, if you're watching this episode, then you will know that Nick had a Britney Spears moment, and he did buzz his head.
I think of it more of a Brad Pitt moment.
Oh, well, maybe.
Justin Bieber.
More, I just say Britney because Britney kind of was like shaving her own head, you know? And like that was kind of what you did.
Do you think people pay to get their hair buzzed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So easy.
Most people, I think.
That is fun.
Danny pays to get his hair buzzed.
Why?
Because it's hard to do. I remember during COVID, I tried to buzz his hair and it was really difficult for me.
What part was
difficult? I was like all uneven. Well, first of all, it's really scary. Like I was really scared that I was going to hurt him the whole time.
But you put like a guard on it, correct? Like they have, you know, your average
She's like,
clippers.
no, I took a knife to his head. Yeah. I thought that's what...
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, your average hair clippers have those plastic guards. They go from like half. Like it's like, I don't know what. It goes from 1/2 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nick had just watched one too many Brad Pitt. You know, Brad went
promoting
back.
F1.
He went back shaved or buzzed, and Nick's been watching a lot of Brad Pitt videos, and I think he got inspired.
Well, I did it for Special Forces. It's honestly, it's the summer cut. It's clean. It makes me feel a little dangerous. Like I got the curly hair. It's fluffy. I think sometimes when my hair gets too long and curly, I like people don't take me seriously.
He just wanted to be like the dogs, you know? We shave the dogs in the summer.
It is nice to just wait, you know. And I posted a picture on the gram and feedback seems to be pretty positive. Yeah. I wasn't sure if my wife would think I was attractive anymore.
He was very nervous. He was like, I think I'm gonna, are you? And I was like, I just don't remember what you look like with a shaved head. Like, I just am nervous.
Well, and the first time I did it in years was during the pandemic when Nally and I were...
When we were just talking, when we were hanging out.
Early in our courting relationship, early COVID. When everyone was just like, I'm bored. I did it for the first time with Natalie, and she told me how hot I looked. And then later in our relationship, I felt like she admitted that she was exaggerating how hot I looked.
It was COVID, like everyone needed to feel good.
Yeah.
I was just trying to help you feel a little good.
And she was like, it's not going to happen again. It's fine. This is a safe
I was
thing
like,
to
this
say.
is just like a COVID thing. He'll like grow out of it. So
This will never
silly
come
of
up
him.
again.
He'll never do it again. And then he did it for Special Forces, but then he wore the hat like the whole time on Special Forces.
Winter
so
warfare.
You couldn't even see your badass shaved head. And now here we are, third time's the charm. And I actually do like it. I think you do look good.
Yes. Good.
Weird.
Well, in addition to
And if
Vanna,
not,
we
it'll grow
also
back.
have country music stars Maddie and Tae with us to promote their new album that's already out. They're also huge Love Island fans, also fans of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and so they're here to break that down with us. They'll be joining us shortly. Before they join us, we have the cast of Perfect Match that was launched last week, and we have some familiar faces, most notably former lovers.
Ooh.
Clayton Eckhart and Rachael Kirkconnell are in the cast together, and in the cast photo, they're like, he has his hand on her leg.
I think that was probably like a little comfort maybe for the both of them. They just were like a familiar face. Maybe I think they both realized that they're friends. They can't.
I hope so.
I really wanted Rachael. I hope it plays out this way that her and Freddie from Love Island UK end up together because I loved him so much on Love is Blind. Love is Blind.
If you guys
UK.
haven't watched Love is Blind UK, he was a hottie.
Is.
He was Love Island hottie.
Why past tense?
Well, on the show. I mean, I don't know.
He still is. Current day.
Well, from what I saw, whenever he filmed it, he was Love Island hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was. We were like, oh, are you sure you want to be in the show?
You know who is on? Who's JR from The Ultimatum?
Oh.
Remember that guy?
And Sandy.
Oh, are they?
Sandy's on.
I didn't see Sandy yet. Dang.
She's gonna break some hearts.
Interesting. I wonder if they're trying to run that back.
I hope not.
I hope
for her
not
sake.
as well for her sake.
JR, the one Sandy was in a relationship with, the one who's really salty with us.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We also have Juliet Porter, who from Siesta Key. I love her. I loved Siesta Key so much.
Wait, they have a Siesta Key person on the show?
Yes, Juliet Porter, icon, legend, reality TV legend. Apparently, she said she was like in the interviews for Summer House, and they gave it to Lexi instead of her. Which
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I do think maybe for the next season they need to dip back into some reality TV pool. Well, AD
A lot of Temptation Island.
Yeah, do we even care? Like, spoiler alert.
I think they did that on purpose.
Why?
Obviously, because they got engaged and then now she's pregnant, and I think it was just like they want to live their life, so they're like, "Hey,
She got pregnant?
she's pregnant currently." Yeah.
That confused me. I was like, oh my God, wait, did AD and her fiance already break up?
And they're both on Perfect Match together.
What?
Crazy.
What a
When does
twist.
that
Why isn't
come
anyone
out? Does that
talking
come
about
out?
this?
I feel like isn't that a summer show?
Okay. Yeah, August 1st.
Cranking
August
out the
1st.
content.
August 1st. It'll be nice to see Rachael Kirkconnell again on our TV screens.
I agree with that.
We also have a conspiracy theory that has rocked the nation that I do believe in, and it is that Anna Wintour has stepped down from Vogue because they put Lauren Sanchez on the cover of Vogue, and she was like, "This isn't how this works."
So she quit her job?
I think she was like, "This isn't going to work for me," and it's
So
a
she
no.
took
and then they were like, "We're
That doesn't make sense though. Yashar Ali, I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a very influential person online. He gets the real scoops. He's an actual journalist. But he's responded to these rumors. Whatever the company that owns Vogue magazine, his response was, Anna Wintour has more influence to this company than the president of North Korea. And he wasn't kidding. And basically
that was part of his tweet was, "I'm not kidding."
Yeah, he was really and I'm not kidding. He's like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not just saying this. I mean that he's.
Do you feel like Jeff Bezos has more money than
Well, it doesn't matter how much. I mean, Jeff Bezos certainly has enough of money to buy this company. And if he bought the company, then sure, he could do whatever he wanted. But if he doesn't buy the company, or if he's not paying off other board members, even then, just being one of the richest men in the world doesn't get you to just tell people what to do. You actually have to spend that money.
You don't think he spent that money?
But how did he spend it? Spending it would mean buying the company in which he wants to have more influence than the most powerful person in the company.
I don't know. I believe it because remember when Justin Bieber revealed his fight with Hailey and he was like, and I told her she'd never make the cover of American Vogue. Because even Justin Bieber knows how hard it is to get the cover of American Vogue. Like you have to, there has to be so, like you have to work for it. There has to be so many things that line up for you to get the cover.
That, like,
I don't think Anna Wintour's like, sure, let me give it to this billionaire's wife.
I'm just saying, I think that's more believable than her quitting over, like, because of this. That's how she's going to go down after this illustrious career.
Well, she says, anybody in a creative field knows how essential it is to never stop growing in one's work. When I became the editor of Vogue, I was eager to prove to all who might listen that there was a new, exciting way to imagine an American fashion magazine. Now, I find that my greatest pleasure is helping the next generation of impassioned editors storm the field with their own ideas, supported by a new, exciting view of what a major media company can be. And that is exactly the kind of person we need to now look for to be head of editing chief for U.S. Vogue. Anna Wintour went on to explain that many of her responsibilities at Vogue would remain the same, including paying very close attention to the fashion industry and to the creative cultural force that is our extraordinary Met Ball and charting the course of future Vogue worlds. I personally do not believe that Anna Wintour would give Lauren Sanchez the cover of Vogue. Nothing against Lauren Sanchez. It's more
Sounds
so.
like you have a lot against
It's
Lauren.
just more so that like, and I don't know her career endeavors and what she has done in her lifetime, but like I only know of her as Jeff Bezos' wife.
Sure.
And that's not how you get the cover of American Vogue.
He's very influential.
For sure. Well,
they got married.
What did you think of her dress?
Boring. Honestly, I was like, the fact that it was custom by Dolce & Gabbana and that's like the best we got, it felt like she honestly got it off of like a rack in a small town. There was just nothing to it that was giving custom and like grand and like one of the most richest people in the world, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Did you see the invitations?
No.
Oh my God. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Listen, it's obviously a ridiculous, it's a wedding of opulence, which we would all go if we were invited. Just like Orlando Bloom and Cindy Sweeney
did they rent
Oprah.
out the whole...
What? And Tom Brady.
They like rented out the whole city.
Did you see Leonardo DiCaprio like would not show his face?
Did he go?
He went, but he wore a hat and like pulled it completely down over his face. Did not show his face at all for any photos.
He still wanted to go though. He's there for the party.
But Lauren Sanchez did reveal that she slimmed down for this wedding, losing a whopping 3.5 pounds.
That's a good poop.
My God. Wow.
I'm just like...
That was a headline?
Congrats to Jen Affleck, who went into labor at a salon. Has she had her baby? Do we know?
If she went into labor, then...
But has she announced it?
She has not announced it yet. All we know is that she went into labor 3 days ago in the nail salon, but there has been no announcement. I'm sure there will be by the time this episode airs, though. But yeah, nothing yet.
But before Maddie and Tae show up, there are also rumors circulating that Rachael Kirkconnell is being considered as the next bachelorette. And I feel like this is mostly probably just a silly rumor. Right now, they don't even know who their next bachelor is. They don't even know who's going to be running the shows. So they're a long way away from thinking, even like actually considering who their leads are. Maybe there was a conversation had, but like, I also find it hard to believe. I think she'd be a swell choice. I also think that despite like, what Bachelor Nation thinks of Matt James right now, I think he still has a good relationship with the show itself. And I think I don't think it would stop them from like picking Rachael if they thought she was the absolute best choice and there was no other choice possible and she was a slam dunk home run. I think they would do it. But I also think there's like consideration of like, do we really want to, it's kind of an FU to a former bachelor. I think they generally try not to do that, but I think she'd be fine. But also Victoria Fuller, if you're going to go to the well, if you're going to go back to the old cast, there is only one option and one option only, and her name is Victoria Fuller. And that would be must-see television.
So true.
I think Victoria would be a great choice. I think Rachel would be Great choice. But do you actually think it would be a big slap in the face to Matt? Because he broke up with her. I feel like he's kind of also like not
a slap
been
in the face. I just think it's
talking about it.
It's just drama. I don't know if they really want to bother with.
They already have.
Yeah.
I mean, we broke this news weeks ago, but the Golden Bachelor now is his taste on.
Well, word is
his
getting
age.
out. We kind of broke it a while ago, but people are starting to pick up on the story.
It's really bad.
Yeah. All right, well, Maddie and Tae are here, and they are about to join us to talk some Love Island and get their thoughts on Secret Lives. They are up next. And then later this episode, Vanna from Love Island will join us as well. But right now, it's Maddie and Tae. Well, it's time once again to remind you how great Helix mattresses are. If you are considering upgrading your mattress, or even if you're not considering it, you should. If you don't have a Helix mattress, it's the greatest mattress ever made. We are obsessed with our Helix mattress. We have also gifted it to family and friends, and they rave about it. We have Helix mattresses in all of our guest bedrooms, and every time we have company, our guests wake up and go, "What was that mattress I slept on? It is incredible." And then we go ahead and hook them up with a mattress.
Anytime we're staying in a hotel room, I'm like, oh, my back, my neck, I'm uncomfortable, I'm sweating, I'm hot. Like, what is this? This is not a Helix mattress. And as soon as we get home and go to bed in our Helix sleep mattress, we are out like a light.
Regardless of how you sleep, hot, sleep cold, on your side, on your stomach, Helix has a mattress for you. They have a selection of 20 unique mattresses depending on how you sleep. They have a lineup of 20 unique mattresses, even mattresses for big and tall sleepers, and mattresses for the kids. And to get a mattress that's right for you, it's real simple. Just go to helixsleep.com and take their very fast, very simple quiz, answer a few quick questions about your sleep preferences, and they will assign a mattress that's perfect for you. If you don't want to take our word for it, well, don't worry. They give you a 100-night sleep trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty depending on their mattress. Try it out right now at Helix Sleep Mattresses. You will thank us, I promise.
Not only are they recommended by us, they're also recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. For their 4th of July sale, best of web offer, go to helixsleep.com/VIALL for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL for 27% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/VIALL.
Well, obviously, one of the most meaningful things I get to do in the show is hear people's stories about their relationships and problems they have, and hopefully try to help them from time to time. But sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm able to help. And there was this one listener who recently wrote in. They wrote in and said, "I love my partner, but I have zero interest in sex. It's killing me. I feel broken." Well, first off, obviously, we know she is not. We've had this conversation on the show before. It could be biological. It could be your brain chemistry at play.
Luckily, there's a little pink pill called Addyi. It's the first FDA-approved treatment for frustrating low libido in certain premenopausal women. It's not about fixing you. It's about helping you feel like you. So go to Addyi.com to learn more. That's ADDYI.com and get back to feeling like yourself.
Addyi, or flibanserin, is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have had low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. This low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addyi is not for use in children, men, or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addyi dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addyi at bedtime. This risk increases if you take certain prescriptions, OTC or herbal medications, or have liver problems, and can happen when you take Addyi without alcohol or other medicines. Do not take if you're allergic to any of Addyi's ingredients. Allergic reaction may include hives, itching, or trouble breathing. Sometimes serious sleepiness can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including boxed warning, at addyi.com/PI.
Summer is here, it's warm out, it's hot, and it's time to have some fun. And if you're ready to have a great time and quench that thirst, do it with Happy Thursday Spiked Refresher. Indulge in your favorite guilty pleasure with Happy Thursday Spiked Refresher. No fuss, no fizz, no bubbles, just long summer weekend vibes right at your fingertips.
Happy Thursday is a bubble-free, non-carbonated spiked refresher that has 4.4 ABV with vibrant fruit flavors.
You've all been on those dates where, you have some carbonation and those untimely burps. Well, not with Happy Thursday Spike Refresher, because it's got those no bubbles, no fizz. It's non-carbonated. It's delicious. It goes down easy. You feel less full drinking it And it's so much easier to have fun when you're not burping through the good times.
They have refreshing fruit flavors like strawberry, pineapple starfruit, black cherry, and mango passion fruit. Every one of them is absolutely delicious. You can't go wrong. You can pick up a variety pack to find your favorite flavor. So if you're feeling thirsty, have a happy Thursday. Weekend vibes all summer long. To find out more and find a happy Thursday near you, visit drinkhappythursday.com/VIALL. That's drinkhappythursday.com/VIALL. Celebrate responsibly, non-carbonated, naturally flavored with other natural flavors. 21 and up, contains alcohol. 2025 Molson Coors Beverage Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer.
Yay!
Perfect.
Y'all, I'm so excited. Y'all have been on our list of like dream podcasts for like.
we're
I
so
am
excited.
So
Well,
excited.
we are excited to have you both.
I love
I just-
y'all's dynamic. It's just so
That's what I
fun.
was gonna say. That's
So
why I
fun.
love to listen. Like,
Well, I'm glad we are recording. We will put that in for
Yeah.
sure.
oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Let's
Including-
gas
yeah.
y'all. Y'all are
Maddie and Tae, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
We're so excited to have you. Anyways, you're talking about how great our show is. Go ahead and
No,
continue.
really.
It's incredible. I love your guests. I love your dynamic. No, truly.
No.
We've been so excited. This has been like bucket list for ours.
Oh yeah, we had a list and we're like, these are our dream podcasts to go on. But also, I think it's so like y'all are in just such a healthy, like loving relationship, and I just think that's refreshing. Like I know there's like a handful of couple podcasts out there, but I just like that y'all just go in like all the way. There's
You ask
not
the
too much
questions
sugarcoat.
that everyone's
Yeah.
thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
sometimes
dig that.
I can be the type of person that just is like, I'm not going to ask it. I'm not going to go there. And y'all do that for me. And it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always like excelled in uncomfortable.
It's
He does.
Yeah, where does that
loves
come
an
from?
awkwardness.
my husband's very similar.
Yeah,
Um,
Josh is so and thank
Generally
God.
not caring what people think of me.
Yeah.
I suppose.
What a superpower. Because
Yeah.
I just now
Yeah.
feel like I got that superpower. I think it was like becoming a mom
Mm-hmm.
and then like getting our freaking hearts broken like over and over again for like in the music
Yeah,
business.
I feel like motherhood probably would help with that because like I
Yes. You
feel
just
like
can't.
there's like Nallie's always had like a mama line energy
Mhm.
ever since
Yeah.
I met her.
Oh.
But like early in our relationship, I think we've told this story before. We were in line at Prince Street Pizza with some friends, and like it was like late at night, so people were drinking, and some lady, girl, whatever, was like, "Do you host a podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And this is like 5 years ago. She's like, "Oh, well, I don't really like it, but a lot of she was like, I know a lot of people listen to it, but like I don't like it." And I was like, whatever. I'm just kind of like deflecting.
yeah.
I'm like, did anyone ask? Sorry. Did anyone
Love
ask
it.
you?
See, that's my energy.
Nally was fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. When it comes to my husband or my best friend, you were going
Yeah.
down.
So that's
Yeah.
when you saw
Hard.
the mama bear energy.
Yeah,
come
I was
out.
like,
yeah.
oh, damn.
Yeah. You're like,
But I
that's
definitely
attractive.
think since having River, I'm definitely more like I don't give
I
give a
feel
fuck.
I
ruthless.
don't.
No,
I
have
just can't.
this
I
to
don't even
care
have any
about.
Ruthless.
left. I'm
Yeah.
so freaking tired.
Same.
And my mental load is
Yeah.
like at capacity. Like
Yeah.
there's even sometimes for shows where I'm like, I can't do my hair today. Like I just can't do it because my brain's already just fried for the whole damn day.
I know.
Yeah.
I literally
So-
went and just got my hormones checked because I was like, I think I might be in premenopause because I'm so
with me.
crazy right now. My poor husband's like, yeah, maybe you should go.
Yeah,
get
there have
your
been a couple
hormones
times in
Oh,
public where I was
please.
like, no, that's fine.
I know.
Like, let's let it go. It's
I
fine.
know.
The labs are normal, so I'm just a crazy mom.
No, you just have
There's
like
something
Yeah,
else.
it's like a
for sure.
protective
Yeah.
energy. To
Well,
it.
Yes,
and just like you just
exactly.
don't have time for bullshit anymore. And I
Yes.
think that's where we get like, because we've been best friends in a duo for 15 years. So like
Right.
when there's just like bullshit that's unnecessary, we're like, we don't
Yeah.
have time for this. We got kids.
Yeah.
We're ride or die. We know what we want. Like just you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think I've always, I've never really had the patience for bullshit.
Yeah, and that
Mm.
might be where that superpower of like not caring comes
Yeah.
from. Because
Mhm.
I used to care. I used to care way too much.
Yeah.
and just like people pleasy and like I don't know. I think that was just like the role I took on in my family for a long time. And now I don't care to please anybody.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
but
I've
my
always
damn
enjoyed
self.
It's such a
being-
freeing feeling to just be
It
like
is.
to like read comments or like hear something and be
Oh.
like, I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Next.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Can't care.
Also, like when we get the pleasure and opportunity to interview reality TV stars, as someone who's been in that world before, like
Yeah.
they should want those questions because it's an opportunity to address any criticisms or misconceptions about
Yeah.
them. So
Absolutely.
and I never want to we always want to make our guests feel comfortable,
And you
but
do.
we just want to ask it in a way where it's just like, you want to
Oh, I love it.
Absolutely.
I used to be like not great about uncomfortable like conversations, and now I've like gotten so much better. I think I approach it less emotionally.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like a little more regulated of a human.
It helps everybody. Let me help you. Help me.
Help me
help you.
understand where you're coming from. That's what if we're ever like not seeing eye to eye, that's the language we use. Like, let me understand where you're coming from so I can see it from your side.
This is like a marriage.
Honestly, yeah.
We are huge fans of y'all.
Oh,
Truly.
thank
I
you.
mean, Every Night and Every Morning is a song that I think I've like dedicated to Nick every time I listen to it. I'm like, by the way, this song is for you.
Oh, I love that
so
one.
truly, I love that song so much.
Oh,
Obviously,
thank
Love and
you.
Light came out in May.
Yes.
How are y'all feeling about that? I like the response has been amazing. I see it everywhere. Like it's doing so well. How are
thank
y'all
you.
feeling?
Feeling good. Yeah.
So good. It's been a labor of love. Like it took about 3 years probably to like put the record together.
Yes.
It's like you can have 2 babies before an album comes out.
I
like,
think we did,
honestly,
too.
and we
Yeah.
did. I had a baby, she had a baby, and then we had an album. Like it's
Nuts.
crazy.
But do you feel like by the time it's ready to come out, is there ever a party that's like, oh wait, well now like I feel differently, or maybe we should change some songs or switch out? Like, do you ever feel that way?
I will say I feel like I felt that on every single record but this one.
Yeah. There was so much confidence.
I feel like by the time we had released previous records, life had just happened. We had moved on. I was like not in a relationship anymore, as life does.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this record, there's a song on it called Chasing Babies and Raising Dreams.
Yeah.
And it's basically just about, feeling the pull towards your career, which once was your baby, and then your real baby. And just choosing that. And I feel like it's just so present in our lives that I feel like we are genuinely, this is the first record that we are actively living.
Yeah. Because it's like you write the music, like Die From a Broken Heart, like T was going through the gnarliest breakup of all time. And by the time like the music video came out and all that, she was healed and married.
Right.
And that was a gift because like how gnarly would it be to be going through the heartbreak and singing that song, and thank God that was a hit in 2020. So I didn't really have to go like, expose her dang heartbreak like that. But
how did your now husband, when the album came out, obviously I'm sure he listened to it. Like, is he just like chill because he gets it? Or is there like an awkward conversation? Be like, so listen, like I'm totally fine now. It's like, man, you were really fucked up.
For real. It's like, dang, I didn't know
really
liked him. Yeah.
I will say, I genuinely think my husband's very like in touch with his feelings. He's like kind of like you, just like goes right
like
in.
a real man.
Yeah, not afraid of anything. And I was the type of person like I just didn't want to write about things of the past because I didn't want to relive it. And I think he truly taught me like the beauty in that because he's also a songwriter and he has the most like beautiful heartache songs even though we're like happily married. And so I think he's always inspired me with that. But he's never watched the music videos because there's 2 music videos where I be kissing some people.
Oh, and I never volunteered.
And he's like,
like,
absolutely not. Like every time we're nominated for an award and they play like the music video on the screen, he's always just like,
oh, I remember. And no offense to the guy, but there was a song called Friends Don't that we had. And it was like the first music video that we were like kind of spicier and had like a sexier outfit because we started when we were 18. So everyone looked at us as like little babies. And we were like, we're freaking 25 over here, like living our lives, like just being, grown ass women. And so we were like, let's spice it up a little. And then they're like, okay, so T's love interest is, this situation. And then Maddie's. And I was like, and there, because me and my husband, we've been together since high school. So we've been together 15 years, like as
you
long
met
as
in high school.
Yeah, we met in high school.
Wow.
And I am still just crazy about that man. He's so great.
What year did you meet in high school?
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
And we had our
What was
like,
your first dance?
Oh,
together?
our first dance.
Oh, I don't even know
gosh.
this.
Well, I
Like
don't know if
homecoming, prom.
I
City
think it was
hopping?
homecoming.
Okay.
I think it was homecoming, and it was probably like a lot of Lil Wayne because I grew up in Houston, so it was like they did not play country music at the dances. We were like shaking and getting down. He was like, "Ooh, she throwing that ass. Let's go, baby."
I'm marrying her. That's my wife.
I think it was like I do remember like our first like date-ish. I mean, in high school, it's like so different, but like. It was a Friday and there was a football game the next day or something, but the county fair had just came to town. And so we're like, we're going to go to the fair. And so like before he went to like go get on the bus, he like kissed me right in front of the library. That was our first kiss. And I was like, oh, floating on cloud 9. And then he almost missed his bus. But he made it, and it was fine. And then we went to the county fair, and
Was
we were
that
just
when y'all
like,
made out in the zipper?
oh, we made out in every single ride that you could make
Okay.
out in.
I remember that.
It was
That
impressive. And he
carnival.
had braces, and I was still like, let's
You know
go.
the zipper, your mouth was all bleeding. You're like, it's fine.
You know that ride where like you go, you're like
It's
in
like
a cage
upside
and it's like
down.
upside down.
Yeah.
We're just like locked the whole time. It was kind of impressive, honestly.
Did you guys ever break up?
Yes, it was so hard. He was my
It's
biggest love.
It probably was a blessing though.
Their
Oh,
story is like a
absolutely.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were together for a year and then we started getting really serious for high school. I mean, it makes sense now, but like his family and I were super close and we were just locked in. And then now him telling me his perspective like years ago, he was like, I just got really freaked out because I like wanted to just be a high schooler and focus on track and football and just like be free and not be tied down. And, and he was like, it was all bullshit. Like, I didn't know what the hell. I just thought that's what you do in high school.
Yeah.
He love you, Jonah, but he had no game. And I loved that about him. But like I don't know. He did pick up a couple girls, but like, cause he's just like silent. Like he's the quiet guy in the room that's like just hot and just like sitting there. So, girls will be going over there, but we broke up because I guess he just like wanted to be independent. I don't know. But we had a class together and we sat across from each other every day for like a year. It was horrible. And it was a heartbreak that would not go away.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I just can never get over him. But then we made some fun memories because I dated like her boyfriend's
I'm glad you
brother.
view them as fun.
Yeah.
I'm like the worst wing woman because my radar, especially back in high school, was just like,
No, but you were a
Shiz.
fun. She was here
Red
for the
flags.
fun. But yeah, there was a couple.
there was this one time.
Are you gonna tell the baseball story
Yeah.
or the crystal meth story?
Oh, the baseball
my
story.
Okay.
Oh my
we
God,
didn't do crystal meth, but I was kissing somebody that did, and I didn't know that.
You're like, I feel weird.
Yeah. Whoa.
I was just trying to be a supportive best friend because when I met Maddie, she and Jonah had broken up like maybe 6 months prior.
Yeah.
And you were just so
I was
heartbroken.
still.
She would
How'd
like
you guys meet?
through a vocal coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
In Dallas,
Cool.
Texas. So like she's from Oklahoma, I'm from Texas, and Dallas was like the halfway point between our hometowns. And just literally by divine like timing, we met through this vocal
And
coach.
we were just instantly best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like 3 months apart, grew up miles away, but
Yeah.
just like, or essentially share a soul.
Oh yeah,
I feel like.
1000%. We are one.
But when I met her, she had shown me this picture of her and Jonah, and she was like, I just missed him so much. And I was like, when did y'all break
Psycho
up?
ex-girlfriend over
And
here.
she was like 6 months ago, and I was like, oh, y'all are definitely gonna get back together. But in the meantime, let me hook you up with some of my friends.
Oh, she had like 5 guys on the line at all times if she wasn't in a
Yes.
relationship. If she was
Right.
in a relationship, she was locked down.
yeah,
But like
I'm a loyal gal.
she was
You had a
back in her
roster.
day, she
I
had a
mean,
roster.
oh, thank you
She
so
was a
much.
heartbreaker.
Damn.
I was the heartbreaky.
How'd you meet your husband?
I met him through songwriting, actually, through the
Wow.
industry. He produced Love and Light, the record. I
Oh,
mean,
cool.
like half of the record.
Yeah. Most of it.
Most of it. Yeah.
I know. It was
Yeah.
the first time we got to have him produce because you should tell the story, but for the second album, or was it the third album? Was it the Every Night Every Morning? Second okay.
album.
Josh was in the like talks to be the producer, but
Yes.
T and him were kind of having a fling, and she's
Yeah.
like, I don't really want to be hooking up with our producer. Like,
Yeah.
I-
So
I
I, had
think
to
I need-
choose. I
Yeah.
was like,
So I'm
should
just
he?
gonna marry him.
boom, essentially.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then eventually
Just
make
lock
it
it down.
work.
She's like, I'll give him a job later on.
I'm in the long game. I'm here for the long game.
Yeah.
No, but it was like we had met when we were both like recently out of a relationship, the Die from a Broken Heart relationship, which was like 3 years long. So I was just heartbroken. And obviously in that stage, you're not looking for love.
Right.
She was back to her roster.
I was back to my
Mhm.
roster.
You're fun.
And then Josh showed up, and I was like, he's so cute, but I'm just not looking for anything serious. And he was in a similar boat, but we just kind of started hanging out and then fell in love.
Yeah. No, what had happened was she was like, I was going and watching Harry Potter like every night at his house, and I was
A
like,
lot more rated R than that. For sure.
oh yeah, I'll keep it PG though. She's like, we were watching Harry Potter,
Right.
and then what did he say to you? Oh, he said, I think we need to like chill because you're not the girl that I can just hang out with. Like, you're a girl that I would want to marry.
Yeah.
And
I
then
know,
she
it's
like
so
got super
sweet.
freaked out and almost ran off. And I was
Yeah.
like, bitch, this is the one.
Yeah. Stop running.
Lock it down.
And then he
girl.
locked it down.
Yeah, and then
So
she locked
now
it
that
down.
you are happily married, the song, the breakup that really messed you
Yes.
up, do you reflect? Do you look back and like laugh about like how sad or
Yeah.
messed up you were about it, or do you like Yeah.
That's
or does it still
funny,
hit home?
because the line in the song,
Yes.
it says like,
Don't say I'm gonna laugh about this someday because you didn't see the way you drove away, and
Yeah.
I am very much laughing.
yeah.
I mean,
We're there now.
hindsight's 2020. He was just so not the one for me,
Yeah.
but I was just head over heels. And
Yeah. And you just don't see it like at the time, you know?
Totally.
But I would still like to sucker punch that. But like if I got one punch for someone, and you know, it's
One
like
free punch.
one free punch,
No
there's like
repercussions.
consequences.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's like maybe 3 people that I would love to just, you know, but it would need to be like someone else. Cause
Get in
I
there.
mean, I'm not that strong and I need it to hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And that's
I mean,
one of
a
them.
bitch
kinda
slap
tall.
could hurt. Yeah, he's tall. I'd have to like get on a
Get on
ladder.
a-
or something.
You're like, stay right here.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
But also, I think we're to the point in our lives where like I have grace for this man now because I'm like, yes, you freaking destroyed my best friend's heart and like we're such an asshole, but it was like such an important part of your story.
Such an important part of
Yeah.
my story.
What do you
Absolutely.
feel like? Obviously, you have a 3-year-old daughter. What do you feel like that breakup taught you that you can like pass down to her when she goes through her first breakup?
I love that question.
I'm gonna be crying on this podcast. Y'all buckle up.
I think something for me, I know where I was mentally in that relationship, and I just didn't know my worth. I didn't love myself. I wasn't like giving myself what I expected a partner to give me. You know, like you're looking for a partner to give you, you know, a stable connection, love, joy, guidance, you know, all the things a partner gives. And I wasn't giving myself any of that. And so I think I want to teach Leighton to like be full, be balanced, like be herself. And then the right person will just come along and like support you in that, you know?
Yeah.
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 Oh my God,
That's
I love
really good.
that.
Oh, thanks.
I know.
Thank you
Having
so
a little
much.
boy, I'm like, I think we're gonna have different conversations, and I'm also
Oh,
terrified
Lord,
about
yes.
it. You know, like
Yeah.
we talk about it, and I'm just like, please don't be a heartbreaker. But you're so cute.
He's
but
so
he's
cute.
gonna-
Yeah, they're
he's
just have to, you know, figure it out.
I know,
For a while, you
I know. And I did tell my husband, I'm like, if we have a girl next, like I'll take, you know, this birds and the
Mhm,
bees talk, you know,
mhm,
with the
mhm.
I don't know, because then I don't know. I want to do a lot of things different than how like we grew up, but I don't know, it's gonna be hard.
Do you feel like, and maybe you can answer this question better since you have both, but do you feel like you kind of parent, and we only have a daughter, but do you feel
Yeah.
like you parent your daughter a little bit differently than your son?
I can see, I mean, Chapel's 8 months old. I can see a world where I would.
Yeah.
I think obviously just like I'll throw Chapel in the dirt a little more. I mean,
Yeah.
Leighton might
Yeah.
want to be in the dirt too, but I think
Yeah.
just stuff like that,
Yeah.
just kind of like what they're into. I don't know if I'll parent them any differently as far as rules go, because I actually remember growing up, I have 2 older brothers,
Yeah.
and my parents just kind of assumed that anything the boys did, I could do too. And I just think as girls, you know, you just need a little bit more boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think
and safety.
in safety,
Mhm.
Yeah.
just emotional guidance, you know? And I
Yeah.
think that that's probably what I'll do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably going to screw it up.
Oh,
I
we're
mean,
both gonna screw it up
You just
together.
have to,
We're all gonna
you know,
make
you just
mistakes.
I don't know.
You just
I
have to be
know.
there, you know?
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
And just
And
like
try.
listen. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
We're very deep in our tantrum stage.
Oh,
that
yeah,
we're
we're
trying
there
to
too.
navigate.
I
Oh,
got
I
no patience for it.
I peeled the
It's hard.
damn
God
banana
bless you guys.
this
So
morning.
hard.
I peeled the banana
Wrong.
at the wrong
Oh,
minute.
No.
Millisecond.
Oh, he wasn't ready.
Bro, I can't. I can't.
I mean,
with
I'm
you.
definitely a softie with River, but when it comes to like temper tantrums,
Oh,
she's definitely way more of a softie. I'm just like, she'll get through it.
Yeah.
See, that's what we're doing. Like, I let him. I'm like, I see you're really upset, and when you want to calm your body, and you want to let me know what's going on,
Mhm.
I'm happy to help you. But I can't help you when you're acting
Yeah,
crazy.
that's really
Okay,
sweet.
bye. And then he gets more mad.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm
that's,
I'm always
you
like,
know,
Well-
would you like a sip of water? I
Yeah.
can
Would
get
you
you
like
a
a
snack.
hug?
A
Like,
deep breath.
it's usually because, you know, she's also in a little bit of like her biting stage
Oh,
and her like
so normal.
hurting, you know, and so we're trying to navigate like,
She'll
how
smack
do
me in the
you?
face.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
For
And in
sure.
public, dude, Forrest did that to me one time in public, and I was like, I'm leaving. I'm so embarrassed. But it's like, as a parent, your job, like, you can't just, you know, lash out at your kid or
Right.
anything. But and also, they're just testing. They are like, how far can I go? And they're
Well,
like,
now that I
"Oh."
know, like when she's crying, like she's not hurt. She's
Yeah,
just
No.
like knowing the difference.
then when she
in
gets
their
what she wants,
cries.
It's like a
immediately
want,
stops.
not a
Uh-huh.
need.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. The
my
not like
the drama.
Oh my gosh. My husband is way better about being like firm with Forrest, and he does not play. But I'm like the softie that's like, sure, you want to come sit on the counter and eat some strawberries with me, whatever. And Jonah's like, get him off the counter. That's not good. I'm like, Mommy, he was gonna scream, and I just
Are
wanted
you
one.
buying them things they don't need already?
Yes,
I-
for sure.
I am a really good. I nannied for a long time, so my manipulation tactics are real good.
But she needs a slide.
I
The
know.
slide's
She
nice,
needs
though.
that
She likes-
trampoline.
she likes the
I
slide.
need the same little
needs the
trampoline.
I know.
It's like when it's raining outside, you gotta have stuff for them to do inside.
Oh, yeah.
Layton has a bike that's like 3 sizes too big for her, but she needed it. You know,
She needed it. I think I'm lucky with my boy in a way that like sticks, dirt, rocks in a bucket. That's like 2 hours right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Genius.
and like naked, barefoot in the yard, like, and he's so happy. So he's saving me a lot of money
A
because
lot
he
of
likes
money.
just nature's free
Yeah,
shit.
when I was little, I was just playing with like literally sticks and dirt.
Yeah.
You know?
And just
And
building
make-believe.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. But when we go to the store, I typically do always get him a prize. If now I'm like, if you're acting a fool, you ain't getting shit.
You get shit.
No.
Mm-mm.
But if you're respectful and you listen, we can get a
As,
little bouncy
as soon
ball.
as River's old enough to do chores, she'll be working for
Yeah.
Oh,
all of
okay.
it.
Absolutely.
See, that's where we're at now, and it's so much fun. Layton has a little chore chart, and every morning she like makes her bed and puts her
Yeah.
clothes in the hamper, brushes
That's
her
good.
Love
teeth,
that.
Wow.
and she's all about it. Like
she's
all
so
about it.
independent though. Like she's been that way since like before she could walk. She
Yeah.
like just wanted to do everything on her own. She just like missed independent. And then I keep telling T like with a boy, I think it's just boys and girls are so different. Like boys with their mamas, it's like they are so strong and do everything on their own and freaking break shit and build, you know, all the things, but they just like melt to their mom. And so like
Yeah.
he's independent sometimes, but then he's just like, you know, kind of just always wants
I
me. And I'm
know.
like, that's what
And I
Chapel's
feel
gonna
like
be.
it's hard. Both my babies were al dente. They were very, very undercooked.
Okay.
Al dente. Oh my gosh, I love that.
When did you have them? How al dente?
Okay, al dente. So Layton was 28 weeks.
Wow.
Born at 2 pounds. Chapel was 32 weeks, born at 3 pounds. So I never carried a baby bigger than 3 pounds, which is like so kind of bizarre.
That
to
little
think.
nerve wracking.
So nerve wracking, traumatizing.
Yeah.
I mean, just like as if pregnancy couldn't be hard enough. You throw that kind of stuff on top of it. But they're so healthy now, and I'm so thankful. But I do feel like sometimes the rules go out the window because I'm like, you were like almost dying at one point.
Yeah.
I got to give you everything you ever
I
want.
know.
But
That's kind
I know
of
it's not true.
My sister Amanda, she has a daughter. She's now 10. Her name is Scarlett, and she had tried IVF for forever, had 12 or 14 miscarriages. And then
Oh
when
my
she got pregnant with Scarlett, they were like, this baby only has a 10% chance of living. And they gave her 10% chance pretty much the entire pregnancy. Like they just, so she was like, I could never get excited. I never bought anything because it was just
Oh
like,
my-
sure, like, oh,
That
you
is
made it to 14.
horrible.
Okay, you won't make it to 15. Like it just and so now she's kind of in that mindset of like, I almost didn't have this baby. Like I will give this baby whatever she wants.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
so I kind of,
Absolutely.
you know, I try not to operate under that.
But
It's hard
because
not to.
it's
Yeah,
hard.
more
But
than
it's like,
10%.
you
she
just
did, she did.
love-
But you just, you
you
know, you
love
want
them
them
so
so
much.
bad, and then you
Yes.
have them, and you're like,
I
you're
know.
just so precious. Let
So
me give you
were
everything.
y'all trying, or was River a surprise?
I love
Or
baby.
It was more like
if it happens, it happens.
yeah.
That's how we
Yeah.
were. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
first go
We
around,
like
I was
just
like,
got, you know,
oh,
well, we
shoot,
didn't just
I
get
need to
engaged.
be
We're
very
a
careful.
few months into being engaged, and like I'm a little older.
We just have fun.
And it was more like, I don't even know if this shit works anymore. Kinda like, I don't-
Why does every guy think that?
well, I mean, like, because I
know.
never, you know, I've never,
Yeah.
you know, I thank God never had the, you know,
Yeah.
Right.
pregnancy scare.
Right.
or-
Yeah.
you
didn't
know,
know.
but then you
You
get
didn't
to a
know.
certain age, you're like, well, why have I not gotten
Yeah,
it?
I know.
Is there something
I do
wrong?
feel that. I started getting a
You
little
know?
nervous before we started trying because I have endometriosis, and we've managed it pretty well since like I got diagnosed.
Mhm.
And like figured out kind of how to keep it under control. But I was nervous. I was like, because both of us have had history of like gnarly cysts rupturing on our
Yeah.
ovaries and all this crazy
boy.
stuff, just all kinds of issues,
Yeah.
which are very normal and common, unfortunately. But I told T, I think it was like November of 2022, and I was like, we're gonna start trying. She's like, okay. And then December after Christmas, we were just having so much fun for Christmas. And then January rolls around. Yeah, Merry Christmas to me. But so January rolls around, and T, or maybe it was before, because I found out I was pregnant like January 4th or something like that.
Yeah.
And T, I went over after Christmas, and we were just playing with Layton and hanging out. And she was just like looking at me weird. And I was like, it just like she knew something that I didn't know. And I was
Yeah.
like, you didn't ask me.
No, but I thought she was going to tell me that she was pregnant.
Because she just knew.
I just had a
and I
feeling.
had no idea. And I took a test like a week after and I was freaking pregnant. And I was like, how did you know? She's like, I don't know. I just like had this like feeling about it.
Best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
It was so magical.
So
Yeah.
sweet.
All right, should we talk some Love Island and get to Vanna?
Yes.
All right, let's bring in Vanna. We spend so much time caring for the skin on our face, but what about our neck? And with summer in full swing, your neck and chest are more exposed than ever. Whether you're rocking sundresses, swimsuits, or strappy tops, or for me, going shirtless, your neck is out there for the world to see, and it's one of the first places that show signs of aging. That's why Go Pure Beauty created their revolutionary Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, perfect for your summer skin routine. Powered by clinically proven active ingredients, this advanced formula is designed to visibly firm, smooth, and rejuvenate the delicate skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks.
Here's the thing. The skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than the skin on your face, which means it needs some extra love, especially in the sun and heat. Go Pure Firming Complex targets the unique concerns of the neck while nourishing and strengthening your skin for a more lifted, youthful look. Go Pure over-delivers on value with over 100,000 real women with real results. With over 1 million jars sold, the beauty secret is no longer a secret. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code VIALL at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com and use code VIALL and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor when they ask you where you heard about Go Pure, tell them it was from our show.
Well, you know, we're not big on trends, but we are big on clothes that feel good and last. And that's why we keep going back to Quince, because they have everything from your classic basics, reliable things you must have in your wardrobe, to some incredibly unique pieces you're absolutely going to love. Quince has the stuff you'll actually wear on repeat, like their breathable flow knit polos that I'm absolutely obsessed with and been wearing them all summer long. Their crisp cotton shirts and comfortable lightweight pants that somehow work for both the weekend hangs and the dress up dinners.
The best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middleman, Quince gives you the luxury pieces without the markups. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. Some of my favorite pieces are from Quince. I have so many cashmere sweaters from them. They're $50. They're such great quality. They'll last forever. I also love their linen collection. It's summer. It's hot. There's a heat wave going on. Like, put on some linen. Everyone loves linen. And the ones from Quince is so good and so flattering. Stick to staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL.
Vanna, welcome to the show. Glad to have you
Thank
in
you.
studio. Our first Love Islander
I know.
in the studio this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well,
Everyone's
before-
in Fiji.
I love that.
Everyone's been in Fiji in lockdown, but I guess with however, they did it, with your guys' exit, we got, you're in LA.
Oh, I got
so
sent home and flown home real quick.
You're like, I'm getting on that flight immediately.
Yeah.
let's just decompress your journey quickly. And then we'd love to talk with you just about your overall experience. And obviously, even though your time was brief, you certainly got to know all of the people there. And I'm sure, you
Right.
got an inside scoop to what everything's going on. So I'm sure everyone listening would love to hear your perspective on everything Love Island. But how are you feeling being back in the States already?
Oh, gosh, I'm really happy to be home because obviously, girl's been going through it and I didn't even know. I just barely found out.
Oh, no.
But coming back and seeing, like, actually having my phone, my first phone call I made before touching social media was to my mom. And she had said to me, like, maybe don't go online until you're home with me.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, what? Why don't go online? So what do I do
Like,
naturally?
immediately
I
getting
go
online.
online. I go online. Yeah.
It's like the whatever you do, don't look behind you.
Yeah.
There's
A train wreck.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to turn around every time. But I immediately get online and it was obviously things that I did not expect to see. And it was really, really hard when I was seeing all of it. And I was in the hotel room with Coco. And Coco was getting like a lot of love, but I was getting so much hate. And I was trying to be like, I didn't want to pull her experience down, so I was trying to like stay high spirited because she doesn't know what I'm going through, And I had a moment where I just broke down crying. And I'm honestly so grateful for Coco that she was there because she sat and prayed over me. And I really feel like in that moment, it was like a pivoting moment. And I kind of put my phone back down and I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. Definitely should not have looked at that because I was so far from home and I just couldn't wait to get back home. And the more that I got on my phone, the more that I saw it. And even the texts that I was seeing were like, hey, congrats for like being on the show, but like, I'm so sorry. Like there wasn't just a good text without the following, but I'm like, sorry of like what you're going through. So that almost like pushed the magnitude of the situation. And I could tell that my family and my team I got at home, they were doing some major damage control too before I even got back to my phone. So they had definitely helped a ton. It was crazy to see, like, it was just not what I was expecting to come back to at all. Like, I feel like as a girl, we're all, I don't want to say insecure, but we do have our little things that we think about ourselves and like that we see in ourselves. And all the things that these people were pointing out to me, like I never saw in myself. Like they're kind of pointing out like new insecurities, I guess. They're not like I'm okay. Like I'm very secure in myself. They were just things that I never looked in the mirror and like didn't like that about myself. And most of the things that people thought I got done, like my cheeks and my chin, my lips, I got my lips done, and I like my lips. But my cheeks and my chin I've had for life. So that's
Born with it.
Exactly. So I'm like, you guys are calling me out for things and saying that I filler in things that like you don't like, but I was born with it. And people were saying like overfilled. You guys, I was sleeping on a feather pillow. I was having an allergic reaction every single day.
Oh my gosh, I'm allergic
Did not know how to.
too. Oh, it's the worst.
I can't sleep on a feather pillow. So basically I woke up every day, my eyes were swollen. Of course, my whole face is swollen. That's why I looked overfilled. Not making excuses for myself,
No,
but
from our
that's
perspective
valid
here,
as fuck.
you look stunning right
I
now.
know.
Beautiful.
No
Well,
feather
thank
pillow
you,
last
thank
night.
you.
Huh?
no, no, absolutely not.
And Leia's sitting
Oh,
right
also, you
beside you,
guys-
Leia. Can we get the in studio? Vanna's looking incredible, I assume.
Vanna looks amazing.
Of course,
you're
no
a
surprise
stunning
there.
person.
I don't
I'm
need
like,
a mental institution.
I texted Justin. I'm like, what do I look like sitting next to Vanna?
Whatever.
The haters
whatever.
are just. Ugh. I mean, how do you hate on someone that beautiful and sweet?
I don't know if this is going to make you feel any better, but a long time ago, I was on TV, and I used to think I was a pretty swell-looking guy, and then I went on TV, and I was like, I'm fucking hideous. Like,
Oh my God.
I got
Whatever.
compared to my doppelganger, according to the internet, was an old John Lithgow. Can you bring up John Lithgow? Also, the villain in Ghostbusters 2. Can you bring that photo up? Show Vanna. This is what the internet said I looked like, Vanna.
No, they always say like you're your own worst critic.
Yeah.
Oh, no. People are way cruel. Oh, it's brutal out here. It's brutal.
It's been all up for me. So, listen, when the haters, when they start hating early, they tend to come around.
Yeah.
The funniest part is I had like 2 minutes of screen time. I'm like, really? Like, what?
Well, honestly, though, in some ways, as a silver lining, you made a mark. Like, you're memorable for what do they
Definitely.
say? There's no press is bad press. Like,
Regardless, your
Right.
ass is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my
Hey!
entire life.
Thank you. I actually work my ass off.
And it shows.
And that's why they stay mad. 'Cause
Thank
that
you.
ass is popping.
Exactly.
and Ace was super appreciative of
They can't say anything about the booty. But actually, no, people have actually said stuff about that too. They're like, yeah, but it's like not real. I'm like, it is though. I feel like you get fake lips and they think everything on your face is fake.
Yeah.
And then you get of course I got my boobs done. I'm just a girl. Come on.
Just a
Girl,
girl.
yes.
Listen, I grew a beard, and the internet accused me of having facial reconstructive surgery.
Oh
my God.
The true story.
What? That's so stupid.
Oh, apparently to the people on media, I've been getting filler in my face since I was like 14. And my mom is my injector, and she's done like
my
all.
God.
She actually did my chin implant too. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You guys, my mom's a stay-at-home mom, never had a job in her life, and now she's this surgeon
Like, she
injector. I'm
definitely
like, what?
doesn't have the
Oh my
ability
God.
to get filler and
don't-
like injectables and
No, but she was-
implants.
Your mom catching shrapnel here.
I know. That's gotta feel real flattering though, that people think your butt is fake. Like I'd be
so
like,
good.
heck yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead
it's
and
the
kiss
same thing
this
as like
one.
my cheeks. I'm like, to me that's a
Exactly.
compliment. You know.
Yeah, high
I
cheekbones.
think yeah. You know what? If people think it's fake, that means it's good enough that it looks like it could be fake. So
Ooh, yeah.
Vanna,
That's
I know
fine.
it
That's
might
fine
feel
with me.
really loud on the internet, but I feel like what your like friends and your family think of you is obviously all that matters. The internet's always
Yeah.
going to internet. It's always going to be loud. It's always going to be jealous. And I think it's obviously incredibly hard to block out, but like you got to block it out. You're a bad bitch. You know you are.
Thank
It's
you.
like
Girl.
Thank you so much.
I know it's the hardest thing to do because people tell me to do it too, but it's like you just can't give a shit about them.
No, and seriously, like, we talked a lot about that. Like, me walking out and having all that hate, my support system is what pulled me back so fast. So it honestly is, I can't picture coming back and not having that. So the people that don't have that and they are coming back to the hate, like, not even just from Love Island, it's so scary. And people really need to, I wish people could get it together because words they really hit so hard, like really, really hard.
Could you imagine being such a loser that like at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, instead of maybe working or doing something productive, you're out here blasting someone on the internet that's just living their damn life? I'm like, what
That's
a
crazy.
loser.
It's crazy. You do have to remember though something, Vanna. A couple things with Love Island being like the #1 reality show on TV right now. Like that is just a product. It just so many people watch it, and
Yeah.
2, Love Island has a very young audience. When I was catching a ton of
Right.
hate back in the day, I've told this story a few times, but it really made me laugh. I was like considered the most hated man in America for a moment, right? And then
No way.
I blocked a couple people early on. Then I just kind of stopped. I just stopped blocking. I was like, whatever. And then years went by, right? 5 or 6 years go by, and I got this message on Twitter. It was from this young lady, and she was like, "Nick, can you unblock me on Instagram? I'm sorry for calling you it was like an
Beep,
ugly
beep, beep, beep,
yeah,
beep.
whatever. And she was like- but then she goes, but in my
Censored the whole thing.
defense, I was 12. And it really made me laugh because again, you just don't know, like a lot of the people online spewing some of this crazy shit
Yeah.
are like 13, 14,
And where are their
15-year-olds.
parents? What the hell
Well,
is
that's a
your
whole nother
12-year-old doing
story,
on the
but
internet
it's just like-
roasting a grown-ass man?
They just don't,
Weirdo.
again, you don't know who's behind those keyboards. And it's just like, and I also will say, I'm always grateful of the hate I got early on because it truly was nothing but up from there. And I think sometimes reality TV stars who come out of this experience with nothing but love and attention and adoration, that really fucks you up, honestly. Like it feels really good at first, but it's a drug, but like it all kind of just like settles down and it all goes away. And then, I imagine you're going to stay in the business and you're going to be back on TV and you're going to influence and you'll have an audience, but like this shitty experience you're going through right now, you'll be like harder for it, right?
Yeah.
And like eventually,
Right.
all the people who go on Love Island got nothing but fans, like everything evens out, right? Eventually, they're going to do something, they're going to catch some heat, and they won't know how to handle it. But meanwhile, this like shitty experience will actually give you a lot of perspective you probably don't even realize. I don't know if that's helpful, but I think you're going to be all right.
Me and my mom kind of had this conversation, and honestly, through like middle school, junior high, I was bullied pretty badly. And then through high school, I started social media, and people on social media are cruel. That's just how they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I always said those dumb junior high bullies that were just a blip, they kind of prepared me for social media. So I feel like social media already being cruel before this whole experience prepared me for it now. It's just like a different magnitude. So I feel like I've slowly been preparing for this, like it's hard, but I was prepared. Like didn't want it to happen. It wasn't preferred, but when it did come, like I handled it, I think, well.
I'm so glad that you had a friend in that moment that knew to pray for you, because I feel like that's Maddie and I's relationship.
Yeah.
Like you need somebody that's gonna be that like prayer warrior for you. And I truly feel like
I know.
all of those comments that you felt like had a hold on you that you were reading when you came out of the villa, the moment that she prayed in Jesus' name over you, those were released because they have to. They
Yeah.
can't stick around. So I'm just going to keep praying that for you. And I'm sorry that you're going through that, but I
Thank
can
you.
tell that you are just like, as Natalie said, a bad bitch. And this is only going to be capital B, all the spellings, only going to be better for you to
Yeah.
piggyback off of what everyone said.
Yeah.
Well, you had initially coupled with Ace in the beginning when you
Right.
when you walked into that villa and you kissed all of those men blindfolded. Was TJ that awful of a kisser? Like I felt like you were kind of, and along with some of the other women, were like kind of skipping him. You were like, honestly, fuck this guy.
Or maybe his breast stank.
I tried. Yeah, I tried to kiss. I tried to do it. I don't know. I couldn't get into it, and there was no like sexual chemistry at all. And even when he took the blindfold off, we still really didn't have much chemistry. Like, I thought that we could get there. And they cut out so much of the stuff that I wanted to be seen.
Like what? Like what? We
I
love
had
this
many...
stuff.
I had many conversations with TJ about, come on, the RBF one, people were already talking about. Like, we talked about it on After Sun. And he was just really dry. And I said, like, I felt like I was a comedian. He was just throwing tomatoes at me. Like, the jokes were not ever landing. We had very different humor, you know? Like, ain't shit funny to TJ at all. And I learned that. But honestly, it was the same thing with Ace. Like, you guys, they did not... None of those men in there thought I was funny. And I'm so used to the guys in the outside, I guess, that tell me how funny I am. And like, they just think I'm hilarious. So going into that, I'm like, wait, like, why? I don't know. Why do they not think I'm funny? Like, what's happening here?
I feel like Ace was like thought he was the funniest guy in the villa and was just like, he was like telling people what they could laugh about. Is Ace, I mean, because like a lot of the people, like all us fans are seeing a guy who almost like has control over the villa, and Taylor, Nick seem to be like his two main minions, but he really seems to have an overwhelming amount of influence in the villa. Did you sense that there, like some of the other people we've talked to have?
Ace just he's a really big personality, so where his like energy does flow, it sets like he's kind of the group leader, yeah. So if he's in a bad mood, it like vibrates to like everybody. And then when he's in a really good mood, he can get everybody in a good mood. So like I do understand that.
Wait, were you originally like, did you know going into this experience you were going to be a Casa girl, or did you like
No, oh my gosh, no. So basically, I was in, I probably shouldn't even be saying like a lot of this. I was in LA because I had faced, I'm like, they would have flown me out by now, you know? Like, I'm going to LA. I'm going to go out to LA, hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm on a week bender. Okay, 5 days, not a week bender. I'm on a 5-day bender in LA. I'm tired as hell. I go home. They call me and they're like, Vanna, can you fly out tonight?
Oh.
What are you talking about? No, I can't fly out. No, I can't fly out tonight. I didn't spray tan myself. I didn't pack. No, I can't. So then they said, what about tomorrow? And I'm like, you know what? I might be able to do tomorrow. So I ended up flying out. I basically had like 24 hours to pack all my stuff, fly out. Right when I land, they put me in a van and they're like, you have 20 minutes basically to get ready. And I'm a high maintenance girlie. Like, I'm a high maintenance girl. I like to be able to, I'm like, what are you talking about? My eyebrows take me 20 minutes each eyebrow. Like, not even shot. No freaking shot. I'm doing my makeup in the bus. We end up getting there. I take off my little fuzzy headband and I'm like, I don't have any of my hair tools. I took my hair out of my 2 braids. So the bottoms are like straight and people are making like the Utah girl comment. And I'm like, I didn't have my hot tools. Like, I couldn't do anything. And they were just like, you look great. Just get the shots done. So my like intro shoots, I had 20 minutes to get ready and it was like a mess. I was like in panic mode the whole time. But I get all my shots done. My intro video's done. I go to sleep. I wake up at like 3 something in the morning because we have to leave by like 5:30 in the morning. Like, I go to sleep after my intros, wake up Casa more.
What?
I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so I'm running. So basically my thing was land, did my shots, went to bed, wake up Casa.
No pressure.
And all the other girls had been there for 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So I know. I'm like, I wonder who they like put me here for. I was thinking like, was it TJ? It was like a TJ plant. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Who was like most your type out of the guys?
Probably one of the other guys in Casa more that I didn't even get to see.
Yeah.
Honestly. When I saw those guys walk in and then they were like giggling, they had jokes. Like, they were funny, you know? Like, if one of those guys were in there, I would have been nails in the freaking ground. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
How tall is Nick and Taylor? It's hard to read because it seems like, you know, all the Casa guys seem like tall giants, and that's usually that's like a reality TV trick. It's like usually when they're casting for love competition shows, producers, like, they all know you girlies like tall men. So they're just like, well, I don't care what his face looks like. We're just gonna we like 6'2" is short in reality TV for men.
Yes.
But it seems like so I'm curious, like the main guys in the villa, you know, again, Ace, I don't know how tall he is.
Short king.
But the Casa guys seem real tall. Like, can you give us some perspective? Because it is kind of hard to tell watching a show.
Oh, I did not by any means think that Nick or Taylor, Austin, I didn't think any of them were like short at all. Like, I'm not even a height girl, you know? I'm 5'4", so any guy to me, I'm like, you know what? If you're taller than me in heels, like, I really don't care. But then when they put us on those platforms on the last night of, like, who was getting knocked out, and they put the Casa and the Villa guys, like, one by one, I was like, oh, this is cruel. Like, this is cruel. They made them look so small.
I know.
Those
My
guys were,
favorite
like,
scene
one of those guys
is
was
when-
6'8". He was huge.
When Chris pulls Ace and to go talk, and it was like
He's like, hello.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that.
Ace
That's
was
so
walking
funny.
like as far away from Chris as possible as they were walking away.
He knew.
Wait, I have a question. How do they, you know how sometimes when the bombshells walk in and they look like they could pair together, how come they can't get together? Are you told that you can't?
I didn't come in as a bombshell, so I really don't know. Like, I came in with a group of girls.
Right.
So I don't know on that one.
if you wanted to couple up with like one of the other Casa guys, that
You
wasn't an
couldn't.
option for you.
I was there for like 2 days.
But then,
It was a
part of it-
whirlwind.
yeah, part of it is just like the Casa guys are in Casa,
Right.
and then or vice versa. But it's
Okay,
like they're not.
actually there together.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I already have a group chat with the Casa boys. We're all trying to go to Scottsdale. I love those
Oh.
boys. They're so much
There
fun.
you go.
Okay,
See?
when you're on these shows,
Yeah.
when do you eat? And also, like, is it good or is it just trash food and you're just like, I can't wait to get out of here?
The boys made us breakfast every morning, and it was actually like really good. They'd make some bangers, like different choices of like blueberry chocolate pancakes and then scrambled eggs, bacon. They did the 9s for breakfast. And then for lunch, we were basically meal prepped like we were bodybuilding, like chicken every day, different kind of chicken.
Oh, chicken.
But that's fine because my mom loves to make chicken, so I felt right at home. Thanks, Mom. It was usually kind of bland, but like nothing some salt and pepper couldn't fix. I was okay with it. I was fine with it.
What was your read on some of the rest of the cast? I think obviously Huda's made quite the impression on the cast. And now, after last night's episode, Shelly seems to, like Shelly got mad at Huda during the heartbeat challenge. America seems to be split. On one half, a lot of people are team Shelly because they understand her frustration with Huda, since Huda was like just so kind of like, hey, when she was paired up with Jeremiah, it was like, leave my man alone. She was quick to like set very rigid boundaries, not only with Jeremiah, but with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
And it was like, she was like staking her claim. And then then during the heartbeat challenge, she is making moves on Ace and some of the guys, and she's able to twerk that body in ways that like, it seems like no one else in the island is able to do.
Ooh.
And so Shelly took certain offense to it, which I kind of get because it seems kind of hypocritical. On the flip side, the Huda fans are out there where it's just like, hey, listen, the whole villa was like saying, listen, you can't close off like this. You can't close off. Challenges are challenges. Loosen up a little bit. And then now that she's loosening up, now they're like coming for her. So I kind of see both sides, but I do feel like it's a culmination of like, listen, like Huda seems well-intentioned, but like every sentence out of her mouth seems to start with an I, where it's just like, I do this and me this. It's just she's very focused on her immediate needs. And I've been there. Like, I think we've all gone through stages in our life where it's just like, we can't see the forest through the trees. And I feel like she's very well-intentioned, but I do feel like she's such a big personality. And I think it's wearing on her cast. And now that like she is, grinding on Ace, now that him and Shelly are almost closed off, I think she's catching some heat. But anyways, being in the villa, kind of just getting the vibe from everyone. How do you read what people are saying?
Right. Might be a controversial opinion, but I love Huda, and she was one of the only girls. Some of the girls in the villa I didn't even meet because they didn't want to like talk to me or like really approach me because like Casa girl, But Huda was one that really approached me and like looked at me, wanted to get to know me, and talked about like meeting me on the outside. She was really, really nice. Mm-hmm. But completely besides the point, even if she did not do that, I think the thing was, in the beginning, when she was super mad that other guys were like touching up on Jeremiah, whatever, she didn't know the girls. Do you know what I mean? So it was like I don't know you. I don't know like what you're trying to do. Like, she didn't know them. But then being in the villa and like doing the same, they do those challenges over and over and over again, and they're always crazy. They're always wild, and I think they know who's for who at this point, So I think that she almost let her guard down in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that she was like, I'm gonna take Ace in this moment. I think that she was just like, we go crazy in all these challenges. And maybe she took it slightly too far. I don't know. I've only seen clips of it. I did not watch the episode. I'm not going to lie. I haven't even seen like half the clips of like that I'm in. So
yeah, but you got the gist of it. Yeah, I mean, it was basically she was just she was fully into the challenge, and she was not thinking about
everyone's going all out during the challenges. And honestly, if she's got it, I don't know.
I will say though, I mean, I think the fact that obviously they were all kind of bringing one person to like the front to do like their last one big one on type of thing. And I felt like there were a lot of other men she could have chosen other than her so-called like best friend since the beginning, her sister's like man, you know, there's Pepe who she like seems to have interest in. There's all the new Casa boys who like obviously they're with these new people who they have only known for 3 days. Like I felt like there were people she could have gone for to do this like big performance on, and she chose her bestie's man, which and it seemed like, you know, at the end of it when Shelly and Chris were done, they kind of got up and it was like, and I think Shelly even said this, like Huda was still going. She had turned around and was like, shaking her ass in his face, and it was kind of
like they cut something out there.
They cut something out
there.
Let's be clear. It also takes two, and Ace was still going too. And I just think like Huda made a mistake, but it wasn't malicious. And I think it's Ace is in more responsibility for protecting that relationship than Huda is.
I think there's less of a ability for the people who are being pulled to protect the relationship.
Ace matched with Amaya, sat her down, and was basically like, "Don't touch me."
That was still that still to me makes no sense. Wait, no, low key, that's kind of what happened with me. No, I'm kidding. No, but they didn't put in the conversation with me and Ace though, because I pulled Ace the day after we had coupled up, and I was like, I think we're just friends, you know, like, are you feeling that vibe? And he was like, yeah, like I caught that drift. So I was like, okay, perfect. But they cut out that whole conversation, and then like me and Ace we did have some amazing conversations too that they cut out. While it's on my head, I was so mad that they didn't put my end scene when I was leaving.
Why?
So So when he chose Iris, Ariana asked me, Vanna, like, how does that make you feel? And they didn't put any of it in. And I basically stood there and I was like, you know what? Like, he made the right decision. Like, me and this man were fighting for conversation and chemistry. Like, it just was not there. And all the girls in the back were like snapping, and they're like, that part, whatever. Like, they were all like dying laughing. But it was almost like kind of like a laughing like bummer, but like he definitely did the right thing. And I was so curious. I'm like, I wonder how they edited that. And I go and I look, I'm like, oh, they just cut it. Like they did not put that part in there at all. Yeah. And then when I went on After Sun and they're like, what happened like with TJ? And I basically said that there was like not like chemistry there. People seemed to be confused, but I was like, they would have put that in there. There was no context to anything of like why me and TJ moved the way that we did. But it was like, we just weren't compatible, really.
Y'all just weren't compatible. He just isn't a guy who knows humor.
Didn't get your jokes.
I don't think he likes any jokes, period.
Oh,
they all are like,
I'm
rough.
No, they did not like to laugh. They don't even like to smile.
What do you
smiling? They to be a slow mover or like a slow burn.
What do you make of Nick and Sierra?
Gosh, honestly, I'm pretty sure in the last episode or like 2 episodes ago, he kissed like Alandria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that to me was shocking. I was really, really shocked because he was talking about how much he missed Sierra. And when he got voted off and we were all like, what is happening? He said like what he wanted his like goodbye to be to Sierra and everything. Like that was the only thing that he was thinking about. And it was like a big deal to him. So I thought that they would go the long mile. I thought that they would make it to the end. So when I saw that clip of him with Alandria, I was like, what is actually happening here? What is going on?
The lip biting was crazy.
Yeah.
He seemed to really lean into it, where Alandria seemed very, almost like a reluctant participant.
I mean, at least from the edit, because he was very verbal about how he felt about her, and she was kind of just like, hee hee hee.
Well, my big theory of this season, because a lot of the fans are frustrated with how the show went about Casa Amor. You know, it seemed like there was a lot of producer involvement, a lot of the recoupling. It just was not your typical Casa Amor experience, to the point where like it just never felt like, you know, being a Casa girl, Vanna, like you really even had a shot to really, it's like you guys were fighting for your lives, recoupling, you know, you couldn't really make connections. But my theory is I think Ace is such a big presence in that villa And not only is he a big presence, he's to credit to him, he seems emotionally mature. Like you can't convince him to do things. I don't think he's very easily manipulated in a way. And I think he's manipulating some of his cast, and then he has his minions like Nick and Taylor. I think the producers were worried that Ace would have too much influence in Casa. In a way that like they're like, you know what, we're gonna have to like make some moves and disrupt this flow because Ace is like almost making it too difficult for them to like make the show they want to make. And I feel like that's why you see producers doing it, because I will say, like, even though we get frustrated at what might be producers' involvement, I think sometimes we don't realize that some of the people they cast, where it's just like, these are they're just normal people. You guys are all casting, right? And then sometimes if you get like someone who really is disrupting the normal environment, like the energy, these are very like this environment that they've created is very it's very beautifully and very specifically structured to elicit these emotions. And when you have someone with such a strong presence like Ace, it can really disrupt things.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why maybe they've messed with Casa more as much as they did. I don't know.
I think they always have to have like one person or like two people like that each season, you know?
For the TV.
It's like on the Bachelor, there's always like I don't want to call Ace the villain, but there's always like one person that's super controversial, you know, like in every series. And it almost makes it entertaining. And that's like, I think we all kind of knew like Ace wouldn't be going anywhere the whole time because that's him. That's him. He's going to be there to the very end.
And Nick kind of seems like the type of person who he's really charming, very likable. Like, you know, he's the guy in the friend group. Like everyone's friends with him.
Yeah.
But like, he also seems like in a good way for producers, like he definitely just like wants to be famous. And I honestly feel like the producers, when Nick and Alandria got voted off, I bet they didn't tell Alandria much because she seems, I don't know, I'd love your opinion on her because she seems fantastic, really like just like a really grounded person.
I loved her.
Where I feel like they pulled Nick aside and they were like, listen, America's loving you guys. I really think you should like lean into it and give him a shot. And I bet like Nick was just down. Like I feel like they can tell him anything that this will make you famous and he will be down to try it.
I think Nick liked Alandria from the very beginning and I will die on that hill.
You think Nick Alandria?
Even if you watch the past episodes, she walks by, he's like darting, like watching her like a hawk. Yes.
He does say that.
And they just have really good chemistry. Like I thought that they had more chemistry than when I would watch Alandria and Taylor talking. When I watched those two talk, I was kind of like, like they built up a good friendship, but it's almost like a friendship. Like I honestly,
what's your I mean, Alandria, honestly, like she seemed, I mean, truly like perfect. She was created.
That's a woman.
Like,
that's a woman.
Personality,
And
look, she like has it all. Why? What's your opinion on why she's single right now and having a hard time making connections? And like, what's wrong with Taylor?
I think Alandria is just very, very mature, and it's almost like the reason that I couldn't find a guy out there like on the show was because he wasn't out there. And I do not think that her guy is out there at all. I think she needs to find a guy that is literally like off the grid, has his shit together, and is a man.
I think so too.
And is looking for love for like the right reasons. And I think that I can't picture her with one of those guys there.
Right? I think she's like
just
above like reality TV
She's so
stars.
with it.
Like what is
she's so with it.
Is Glenn Powell single?
I don't know.
Like Michael B. Jordan, who's he dating these days?
This is so interesting. Just like the reality, like the behind the scenes of reality TV is so intriguing to me because it sounds like for us, record making, a producer is very important. It sounds like you have to have really good producers on shows to make it good TV. I mean, because it's like they can tell a contestant like, hey, nurture this relationship. Hey, this person, like, that's going on behind the scenes like that we don't see.
Well, I mean, I think the best reality TV producers, I mean, every good producer would want to not do anything, right?
Okay.
It all comes down to casting. But like once you have your cast, you don't know how people are going to like be around cameras. You don't know if they're going to come in and edit themselves or be too worried about their Instagram followings and things like that. So like once they get the cast and they kind of see what they got, then like maybe there is some maneuvering, but I think they don't want to, but sometimes I think, you know, like I think what I liked about last night's episode, it was like, all right, the end of like Friend Island. I mean, there's too much bonding and friendships. I loved that Iris finally went to Sierra and said, I don't know, if I were you, I would be pretty pissed at Nick. Like you guys hooked up, you had sex, and now he's making out with your friend.
And then it
finally
fucked
clocked
up
up.
in her. She's like, oh yeah, maybe I should be.
Yeah.
Dirty,
and it's just like, You know, and it's just like right now you have a bunch of cast who's like a lot of them, the main ones are just, they don't want to ruffle feathers. They just like everyone get along. I'm cool. I'm chill. And, you know, it makes for really boring television. And so sometimes when producers see that, that's when they start getting more involved than they otherwise would like to.
That's why I'm curious to know if when Nick and Alandria got dumped from the villa, if it was an audible that they called to bring them back. Because I wonder if they were just like, okay, everyone loves these two so much, so we're just gonna.
Do you know any?
I mentioned that. I said the same thing. I was like, they probably heard that it was those two getting dumped. That could have been like an actual dumping, and then they heard it was Nick and Alandria, and they were like, oh.
I know,
no, like they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
I don't know.
Man, I know what I want to ask you. When you guys first coupled up, when Nick got sent home, right?
Yeah.
When Jaden picked Austin, there was a moment right after when the guys got up to like console and say goodbye to Nick. A lot of fans picked up on the fact that before Ace walked up to Nick, he kind of looked at Jaden and kind of gave her like a "what the fuck was that?" kind of like, how could you not vote for Nick? Did any of you all notice that at all? Or like how in that moment did Ace give Jaden any kind of like attitude or, you know, blame her?
A little bit. But they had that conversation and she was like, I think Ace is mad at me.
Oh.
And he was like, they cleared it up, but he wasn't. But no matter who she would have picked, like somebody prominent was gonna go home, you know? So it just fell to be Nick, and honestly, it being Nick and Alandria, that fell in everyone's favor, you know? Because picture would have been Austin, it would not have had like the impact, and they couldn't have paired up that well, you know?
Mm-mm.
Which even I was like, oh dang, I wish I would have I was kind of sad that Nick was leaving, you know? Because I wanted to get to know Nick a little bit better, but I feel like I had a hard time there. My first day, I don't want to say wasted, but I did try to grow that relationship with Ace, and then I realized there was like nothing there. And then day 2, I tried to grow with TJ, and I was like, oh no, maybe there's nothing here too. And then at that point, I had like a day left basically, and Nick was gone. So it was just basically like I didn't have the time to like come back from like what I had done. But even if like from the beginning, if I would have chose to couple up with somebody else, I just don't know if it would have been any different, just because nobody there was matching my freak. We were just very different
Slim
levels.
pickings.
You know, I
Person
don't really.
wasn't there.
Yeah, slim pickings.
No, yeah, it was. No, actually, I'm like, there was like not a lot of smiles going on in there, but there was also not a lot of sleep going on in there. So maybe those go hand in hand. Everyone was just a little bit tired and a little bit grumpy.
Who were some of the more standoffish women from the villa?
I didn't even talk to Shelly at all.
Oh wow.
Amaya approached me right away and would tell me how pretty I was. Like, so freaking sweet. Honestly, all I can say is like how much her and Huda did stand out to me. I got tossed looks kind of from like a couple of the other ones, but those two really did try to like come and like console me. But I'm like happy as hell. I'm like, no, I'm good. I realized how hard it was going to be to spray tan in there. I'm like, oh, bye. It's fine. I'm okay. Life is going to be okay.
What about Alandria?
At first, I think she thought that we were gonna be like a little bit tough on her, I guess, because she kind of mentioned that. Like, I was not expecting you guys to be that nice. But I was the first one to get up and like go hug her, like when I saw her. And me and her did spend I probably spent more time with her than a lot of the girls in Casa once she got in there. Kind of, she was kind of picking my brain a bit, and she was kind of pushing me to like go have those other conversations with everyone else, because like putting my eggs in one basket wasn't gonna do like a lot for me. But I'm like, even if I put like a couple eggs here and a couple eggs here, it's just my eggs are just not where my eggs are being wasted, you know? Like, where's my man? Where's my boy? But
yeah,
that's just how it felt.
It's a tough situation. Would you go back if like you got the opportunity to go on like Love Island games, or heck, even next season? Like, you know, obviously, despite your, you know, the challenges you've had in the brief time you're on it, like, do you still have an overall positive reflection of the experience, and would you go back? I'd
have to be prepared to go back for sure. But honestly, I don't know. I think it would come down to how I was feeling in that moment. Like, I really, as of right now, like you guys, I'm so fresh off of this. Like, my feet just barely touched down in LA. I'm like still having an out of body experience. Like, I don't know what's been going on. Like, life is passing so fast right now, and so much has happened. Like, I'd have to see it in the moment. Like, a year from now or however long it is, like to see how I'm feeling in that moment. But right now I'm just happy to be really home with my mom, you know.
Good for
That's
you.
great.
Good for you.
Any final thoughts, Vanna? Anything that we didn't get to ask you that you wanted to talk about or share with our audience?
They caught a ton of conversations with me and Jaden. Me and Jaden had some funny conversations that I was like, oh, they might cut that up and I might look kind of like I was dogging on TJ a little bit, but
Maybe they'll put it in like the after sun
Yeah.
bloopers or something.
Yeah.
It's tough because there's just
but,
so
like,
much content.
there was a
there's
lot of
so many
missing-
characters.
there's so much context that was left out of like the conversations, you know? But the biggest one to me was the when Ariana asked me how I felt that he chose Iris and they didn't put that in there. Like they cut it up really oddly. Well, even when you're watching the clip, I've seen memes of myself being like, why is Vanna so damn jolly to be going home? Like, because I was okay with it. I was completely fine with it. I was probably like the only one, like, if the girls did choose me to stay, I would feel so bad. Like, I would feel terrible because I did not have one connection in there. And like, I made a joke, like, I was in there for 4 days and didn't make a connection. And I had more chemistry with the guys standing behind me that were getting voted off. Like, I had more chemistry with them in like 2 seconds than I did with any of the guys in the house. So.
Well, we certainly felt like we made a connection with you, and we appreciate you coming on. For any of the people listening who want to follow you and show you some love, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok, where can they find you, Vanna?
All across the board, just at Vanna Enerson.
Okay. All right. Vanna, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for taking the time. We had so much fun, even though it was a brief time on Love Island, and we appreciate you answering all our questions.
No, I had so much fun. Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care, Vanna.
Bye.
I'm going to get all of our fans to go to her page and be like, you're beautiful.
There
We
you go.
love you. Our
Yeah.
fans are really sweet.
Yeah.
And they'll cancel out all them haters.
That makes
Perfect.
me so sad.
I know.
I
it's so
know that is
sad.
the behind the scenes of, because I was so intrigued. I loved, like, because I did watch when you were on Bachelorette and then you did Bachelor, right? Yeah.
In Paradise.
But-
Bachelor.
Well, yeah. So like that, like maybe 5 or 6 year span. But anyways,
Good era.
it was on fire. Like just great characters for the couple years.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got villainized like really quickly, like with, it was Caitlin's season.
Yeah.
You did?
No, well, Annie's was the first season.
Annie's. Okay. Yeah. And so it's like there's always like an automatic villain that by like the first or second episode, you know, like who they're trying to get everyone to hate or whatever.
Mhm.
And I think it's interesting, like, because I remember T was like, really, what you need to know about Love Island is Huda is crazy. And I was like, okay. And so, but it was cool to like kind of hear, you know, her perspective of like, oh, she was actually the most welcoming and like what people don't see about the person who's like the crazy one or the villain.
They
you know?
focus on storylines too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
Huda was giving a lot of obviously energy
Yeah,
and energy
yeah.
that
She
like
just had
you know,
one episode where she like literally crashed out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everything's good now.
Yeah.
No,
Everything's
it's-
good now.
you get siloed into like
Yeah.
personalities.
Yeah.
So like
Well,
they
yeah.
focus on moments, right? All of us have good and bad moments in a
Mhm.
day. Like have a camera on you 24/7.
Oh.
Imagine like the
Oh.
off-putting facial expressions
Canceled.
you might
Automatically
make.
canceled.
Right? And then it can take
For
those and choose
sure.
what should those facial expressions to show and not show and things
And then
like
line
that.
it up with completely different dialogue. Like
Yeah.
I know they do
Exactly.
that too. They get someone rolling their eyes and someone was
And
just
put
like,
it somewhere else.
talking about hot dogs. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in
Yeah.
the edit. It's just so interesting. I thought it was cool that you were kind of bringing up like just people that like what the perspective is like underneath the whole villain moment, I guess.
Mhm.
you
Yeah, I mean,
know?
it's like it's not. I mean, again, it's villains used lightly. It's just, but a villain is a star of the show. Like,
Yeah.
without a villain, you don't even have you can't have a good reality TV show or a movie without a villain.
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
something to root against.
needs to
You
be
know, that's
tension.
why I always like. You know, did you watch Hannah Brown's season of The
Oh,
Bachelorette?
Oh,
we
for
watched that. We were on
sure.
tour with Carrie Underwood that year, and we religiously.
What was his name? Luke?
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
that guy.
He does, but that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying
No,
to
I
like.
know.
He had a lot of problematic things he said, and he was an ultra villain. But that season's
Great.
not good if he's not on there.
I know.
sure.
You know, because
I don't know. Tyler Cameron's hot enough to carry a whole.
Oh, I love y'all's
season.
episode.
You know,
he was
Take
great,
it.
but like, and I love Tyler, but like, it's you have to have those types of
Yeah.
like the tension. You gotta
Yeah.
have the like,
Mhm.
yeah, and then it just makes it
Yeah.
way more entertaining.
But yeah, I do love hearing those perspectives like Vanna's, where it's just like, you know, who knows why Shelley seemed to be more standoffish with her. Maybe
Mhm.
Shelley was having
A
2 bad
day.
days
Mhm.
in the days that,
Yeah.
Vanna got to hang out with her.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just like, maybe Shelley is getting protected by her relationship with Ace and things like that, where, Shelley's just mostly quiet,
Yeah.
so you don't really, we see Shelley and we're like this beautiful,
So beautiful.
classy, person.
Yeah.
And so like, there's just nothing, you don't have anything bad to say about her.
Because we're just not saying
But
it.
like, who
Yeah.
knows? It's like you're getting a snippet of these people,
Yeah.
and you're not really getting the whole package. And most of them are probably just fine people.
Yeah.
One thing I'm fascinated on, we'll have your ladies' perspective. Last night when Huda was talking to Chris,
Mm.
and we all know that Huda's a mom,
Right.
and Chris was just like, "Hey, I want to be like, just you being a mom, it's cool, no
Yeah.
opinion." But then they were talking about what they're gonna do after the show. And Huda was like, as soon as my lease is up, I'm moving to LA. And I wanted to hear more of that story, because I was just more like, because we know that the father of her child is like taking care of Huda's child right now.
Right
He's
now.
like posting content.
Very supportive.
Mhm.
He's very supportive.
Oh.
But like, is Huda not taking the kid?
Yeah, because that's against the
See-
law to move your child
Well,
without.
I mean,
Yeah.
the parents have to be in alignment.
Yeah.
And she mentioned that her and her co-parent
Would both move?
that's the thing. They didn't say it. They just said, she just mentioned they had a conversation.
Hmm.
But like, I was just more like, I want to know, are you moving without the child?
I
Or
know.
like,
I
he,
think
is he coming?
Lots of those decisions are questionable.
Yeah.
You know?
Because
I-
as moms, I guess, I mean, she's
She's like, you're just going to go to LA and be an influencer?
like,
For
Mm.
sure.
because
Yeah.
children
For sure.
are like, for me, being a mom is like, has been the highlight of my life. Like, my whole world revolves around my baby in the best way, where I'm like, everything else in my life is richer because I have this giant love for this human. So I'm like, my plans adjust to what's best for me and him and my husband rather than what's best for me.
Yeah.
And maybe,
Right.
I don't know, because there are times where we want to do things for ourselves or whatever, and it just is like not the right decision. I don't know. That would be, I mean, going on tour is hard enough. Like when we're like, we were only gone for 2 days on the road this last weekend. And we were like, if we go one more day, I'm going to be like a sobbing mess and no one's going to want to even come to the show because I miss my baby so much. So I can't even imagine like moving.
Yeah.
What?
I just want to be like, Huda,
Within
if you
spending
are listening, or anyone who knows Huda and you're listening to this show, don't move to LA.
Choose your baby.
Before we let you go, do you want to do like a power ranking of the Love Islanders who?
Like who I like the most?
Sure, yeah,
Or what do you?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
sure. However we want to base it on, and it includes anyone who's already been kicked off.
Okay.
Do you want to start from the top or the
Yeah.
bottom?
Let's start from the
Your favorite
Mm.
or your least favorite?
I mean, my current favorite is Landria.
Yeah, I'm number one.
I feel like she's Love Island's sweetheart,
Mm-hmm.
like America's sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
she seems exceptional.
Yes. And then I just think Nick's funny just because he's so like memeable and like you said, he's committed to the bit. That's
Yeah.
what we say. Like when you're like in it for the good bit,
Yeah.
that's him.
Amaya Papaya is high on.
I,
my
Oh,
list.
Amaya's sweet.
Amaya's number
love,
2 for me.
Love.
Amaya's sweet, but I feel like sometimes she's hard to watch.
I love her singing in that
Yeah.
glam room by herself.
And the clip where she's like, I almost ate this whole box of chips. I'm
My-
like, she's so relatable.
Part of my
Kinda-
list is
it's
based
kinda
off of
cringe.
how I think these people are in real life
Yes.
outside of the show.
Okay,
And again,
yes.
this is no disrespect for, they all seem
Oh,
like totally fine,
Absolutely.
nice people. But I respect Amaya's. She's a true friend.
She is
In
a
a
true friend.
in a world where everyone's calling themselves a girls these days, where like everyone's like, I'm a girl, and
Yeah.
like
You're like, no.
and it's
Yeah.
only like you're only a girl when like you aren't threatened
Yeah.
by anyone. But she truly is.
No, she
I
did
would
send
love-
home Charlie.
I
not-
just feel like there's more to that.
I would
story.
love
but
to see
every
her
other
find her
instance,
person.
she has like stood up. She has spoken up. She has defended her
Yeah.
friends. Like I don't know. She seems like a real ride or die. And
Even when Taylor voted for Clark, I think she was like,
Oh,
"What
yeah.
is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Which is
she shows herself. She's
Yeah.
not editing herself. Like this entire cast has their friends managing their social media, and she doesn't. And like in the most innocent way, where she showed up
she
like
just went to a
a
show.
real
So
reality TV
sweet.
star who like showed up for the experience and not necessarily to be
Oh.
famous.
Okay,
cool.
then
I
she's definitely
know.
higher on my list now
It's
too.
so
Okay, bye
sweet.
Nick.
It's
Just
so
get out of
sweet.
here.
It's
My
so
papaya.
sweet.
She's so sweet.
Um,
And then I love Sierra. I think Sierra's
I really
sweet.
like Sierra too.
We have a song called Sierra, and I
Yeah.
always feel bad because even if it's a nice Sierra, we wrote it about a mean Sierra, and I always there was a girl in the audience the other night that I think her name was Sierra. We met her in the meet and greet, and I
Yeah.
was like, "We're gonna
Sorry,
hear a song tonight, and it's
sorry.
not about you. I
Yeah.
promise."
So sorry.
I would put Jeremiah up there though too.
Jeremiah's sweet. Very sweet. I thought Hannah was fun to watch. Like she was definitely entertaining to
Yeah.
watch for obvious
liked Hannah,
reasons. But
too.
yeah.
I would
She was
just
so
put
funny.
Nick and Taylor on the bottom of my list only because I really like independent people, and I just think they're following Ace too much.
Yeah.
The Minions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
just Nick seems very likable, but I just wish he's not just like, I mean, he's a good looking fuck boy.
You think people will vote Ace off?
I don't.
I think
Ace is there to
America's
the
all
end,
in
but
cahoots of like Ace will not get that money. I think
So
everyone's like he's
even if he
scamming
stays
us.
on, they're not going to vote. That makes sense.
yeah, I would be shocked if those two win.
I think Nick and Sierra will probably win at this
hope.
point. They're the only couple that's like actually a
couple.
couple that's been
Yeah.
there.
And you know what's
Both
funny?
like-
They've
likable.
tested their relationship.
Exactly. It's always the
like,
relationships that have like been through the most, but they find their like even when he came back from Casa Amor and she was just like sobbing and then
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like they reunited and it was really sweet. And that in that moment I was like, they're definitely gonna win. Like
Yeah.
that solidified it.
I just don't think there's any chance they're gonna stay together after the show.
But do they ever?
Yeah. I mean, our winning couple last year, Sierra
Cordell and
and
Serena,
Cordell and Serena,
Janae and Kenny,
Janae and Kenny. They
The
had two couples.
Powerpuff Girls.
Leah and
Leah and
Miguel.
Miguel.
Yeah, they're all together.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that was a special season.
Yeah,
was a
it
special
was.
season.
But I actually believe in Ace and Shelley. They actually seem like a really cute couple.
They seem like best friends.
I just don't think there's any way Nick is settling down anytime soon.
That's
She's
the
just-
tea.
I just
And that's the tea.
he's 24, he's great looking, he's
Yeah.
too good of a flirt.
Oh,
Just like
yeah.
this is not a man who's looking for
I
a
did
wife.
think it was funny that she like had both of the curly headed, like blue eyed boys.
I
It was so funny. They were
I
standing
know.
right next to each other, and she definitely has a type.
And Love and Light is out.
That's right.
It
Love
is
and
out.
Light.
Go stream it.
Yay.
Anything else y'all want to promote? Are you on tour?
Yeah,
Or do you have
where can
shows
people,
coming
like,
up?
follow-
What's going
What are
on?
your shows?
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of shows for the
Yeah.
rest of the summer and the fall. The Love and Light tour. Everything's just Maddie and Tae. Trying to think what else.
Life,
Just
raising babies, chasing dreams.
literally.
you
That's what we're doing.
Well, it was so great to meet you. Please
I know,
come
you
back.
too.
Congratulations on all the success. This was so much fun. All right, we're going to wrap up here for today's episode. We will pick up Bravo when we are back from the break. Thank you again to our guests, Maddie and Tae, along with Vanna. If you are bored in the meantime, well, tonight, don't worry. Make sure to check out the reunion of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I am hosting, and the women show up, deliver. It's an absolute dramatic episode you are not going to want to miss. Check that out on Hulu. And if you're still bored after that, there are plenty of episodes to go back and listen to, like our Ask Nick episodes, our conversation with Jeremiah, Hannah, Jalen, so much that we've recorded. All of you Love Island fans out there, be sure to check that out. I think that's it. Have a great, happy, and safe 4th of July weekend. We will see you back next week on Monday. Until then, bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.